Oh, hi everybody. Welcome to this group session. The group session which has its only intention for people to discover more and more about the truths about your life. The truth sounds very big. It's not big actually. It's just to find out how it really is. As simple as that. How it really is in my life. So we begin as usual by a guided meditation. So we sit comfortably and close our eyes. Just landing on this spot. And then we just notice how things are coming and passing. Nothing stands still here. Everything is on the move. It's a flow of phenomena rising and falling from moment to moment. Experiences are rising and falling. The sound of this voice rising and falling. Thoughts are rising and falling. And this meditation, we just allow it to happen in its own way. We don't have any idea how it should be. We don't push anything away. Everything is welcome to be exactly as it is. Everything is just allowed to be exactly as it is in this moment. We're not interested in anything. We're not interested in any thoughts. But thoughts are arising by themselves. They are also allowed to be here. We don't try to push them away. Everything is allowed to be exactly as it is in this moment. We just leave life alone. Not interested in anything specific. Sitting here, doing absolutely nothing. Everything is allowed to be here exactly as it is in this moment. And if thoughts are grabbing attention, we just remember the instruction. We are not interested in anything specific in this moment. We are not interested in any thoughts either. But we don't push it away. Thoughts are also allowed to be here. Everything is allowed to be here. We don't push anything away. We just sit here, allowing life to be as it is, not interested in anything specific, and doing absolutely nothing. And if emotions are rising, we treat them in the same way as everything else. We don't try to take them away. We don't try to fix them. We don't try to ignore them. We're not trying anything here. We're stopping all search. You just let the moment be exactly as it is. Everything is allowed to come and go as it wants. We're simply not interested in anything. Just sitting here, doing absolutely nothing. Maybe we can take 1 or 2 minutes to come out to meditation. So we are sending from Sri Lanka in the mountains in the middle. And the internet is a little bit unstable sometimes. I'm just saying this, that if something is happening, just wait and we will try to fix it. While we are coming to this kind of meetings, it's because there is something in us that brings us here. We can call it urge to know or urge to change or longing. Longing to change our life. Longing to stop the suffering. Longing to stop the worry about the future and not be engaged so much in problems all the time. The longing to come home, you could say, a longing for freedom. And that is nothing that we have created by ourselves. It's something which is already within us. And it's something which is in everybody on earth. Because the truth, which means, of course, what we said, how it really is, not a big truth in the sky, how it really is, that longing to know how it really is there in everybody. And the truth is always knocking on the door to show it for us, so to speak, knocking from inside. When we think that we are searching for something from the outside, searching for that truth, but it's already knocking. So it's everybody, the longing is already there, actually showing itself in every moment, in every second. But most people don't hear it. Maybe they feel a longing to change their life, longing to get free, to be happy, to feel love, to be happy, to be peace. But they look it for on the outside. That's also kind of longing, which makes us people look for peace and love and freedom on the outside. If something is happening outside, then everything will be fine. I mean, if that is happening, then it'll be fine. But of course, we come to a situation where you are, we have seen that it doesn't work really. It can be temporary joy, temporary peace, and temporary love, but it's not stable. It's not permanent. So the longing is expressing itself another way to look, another place, and to see that this is actually already here. What we really want is peace, which is untouched by what happens in the story. Some kind of joy of just living, joy of existing. It's an amazing thing to exist. And this love that we try to search for on the outside, to discover that it's actually here on the inside all the time. And this longing for this to come home, Maybe even remembrance from the childhood, how it was then. But everything seems to be so good, mostly. That brings you here. So the longing is actually always present. But then the mind comes in. And the thinking mind comes in and start to tell us a lot of strange things. This is what we're talking about this today, because to become aware how the thinking mind says things which is not true about us, about life, about our longing even. For instance, oh, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to let go. I'm not ready to surrender. Oh, I'm not ready because I have so much garbage inside me, so much things that needs to be taken care of first. I have to look at myself very thoroughly, and so I'm not ready for it. And also I'm not ready to go to this idea that there's maybe this no personal doer, that there is no personal chooser, I don't have free will. So the mind is coming in. You see that it's all these three areas is actually the thinking mind, which is putting up some kind of obstacles here. I'm not ready. But this is just thoughts. And to become aware of this is quite useful. Because if we believe these thoughts, that I'm not ready because I cannot surrender, they can be a hindrance. It can be a hindrance to see what is already shining behind everything. One of these thoughts is, of course, I cannot surrender. We have been through this before in another session. Just shortly, it's not true that you can't surrender. Because there is no me who can surrender in the first place. So you can just drop this subject of surrendering, or let go, or I can't let go. But there is no one here who can let go. It's just a belief from the thinking mind. The longing is already here, and you are ready to see the truth in this moment. The idea of surrendering is just a hindrance. It's just a thought. And the idea that I'm not ready because I have so much things inside I have to take care of, to work with, and so on, is only one more idea from the thinking mind. But you are ready already. There's no traumatic experiences from the childhood or whatever, whenever it came. That is a hindrance. There's no hindrance. It's no hindrance to see that you're already free now, in this moment. It's just an idea that I first have to fix myself. First have to go therapy or whatever it is to look and analyze all these things that has come from my childhood, which is so restricting. But to see the truth, this is not restricting at all. You're already ready to see it now. And then they have some kind of idea about the future. Or will take a long time. It will take a long time for me, for whatever reason. This is just also a thinking mind. But you are already now ready. Because the only thing which is needed is a longing. Longing to know, longing to change our life. And that's why these individual sessions with you are so effective. People come to oneness here. People get awakened. People feeling better. People realizing more and more the truth about their life, about themselves. It's because you're already ready when you come. So the longing has always been within you. It's only the thinking mind which makes some kind of obstacles by creating some kind of thoughts that I can't surrender, it's in the future, I have to take care of my own traumas before. But maybe it is true then. No, it is not true. Not because we said it just now, but because the thinking mind is just few examples we just picked. The thinking mind doesn't know anything about freedom. That is a thing that is very useful to become aware of. The awareness of the limited thinking mind. It doesn't know anything about awakening or freedom. Its intentions is good. It's nothing wrong with it. It's not an enemy. But it's just that when it comes to freedom, it doesn't know. But it wants to help us still, because we are somehow waiting for some kind of suggestions coming from there, up there, or whatever it is. So it's just guessing to help us. So it says something, but it doesn't know. It's just guessing. Or maybe you should go to therapy first because you have so much garbage. That's just nonsense. You're ready to see the truth now. The truth has nothing to do with any purification needs to be done. Not at all. So whatever thought is coming, which is somehow you see that there is some kind of restriction for seeing the truth now, good advice is not to believe it and to understand that the thinking mind doesn't know anything about the truth. It just try to guide us, to help us, to protect us based on past experiences. It doesn't know anything else. It's just a practical truth. So you are already now ready, and you have been ready. That's why you came. And that's why the search started far away in time, maybe for many of you, because you felt that something is missing, something is lacking. And that is the longing inside you, was knocking on the door, the truth trying to break through and show you this is how it is. There is no suffering. There is no struggle. There are no problems. This is just illusions, even if they feel very real. Of course, they do. But they are based on illusions. And life is actually suffering and problems and worry and regrets and struggle. So the truth is putting the longing there inside you. And that longing you know. And it says to you, just leave it up to me, and I will show you how it is. Just leave it to me, the longing says. And this non-doing meditation is of course based on this, as you understand. Because in the non-doing meditation, we just do that. We are leaving it to the longing to do its job. And the truth is taking over and showing itself more and more how it really is. When you follow these three simple instructions, what we are actually doing, as you probably know by now, what we are actually doing is to step aside, and that's then life or longing or truth take over. When we're not searching for anything, because the searching is from the thinking, which doesn't know anything where to search, how to search, and when to search. So no searching, no trying, just let the longing be your guide. And everything will be fine very quickly. That is also what many people have realized. So you are already ready. It's just a matter of not listening to the thinking mind, which says the opposite. So I open now for questions. Does anybody have any questions around this or wants to speak about something else? It's also okay, of course. Anything. Yes, Krishna. Hi.
Hi, Pastor. Uh, Thank you for the lovely meditation. Um, I want to ask you something which I'm currently experiencing. Uh, I've been, I had maintained a distance from a person for a long time. Had a very thoughtful experience, and every time that happened, I was contemplating on myself, just checking on myself that what is it that's getting hurt, and
Can you just
as we
wait?
discussed
Yeah,
last.
can you wait a little bit? It's a little bit of sound strange, close to the microphone. I don't know what it is, but it's a little bit distorting
Oh,
sound.
is this okay?
Yeah, now much better, much better. Okay, continue. So you have to repeat a little bit what you said.
Sorry, there's a little noise in the background.
Yeah, but now we hear you good now. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I was just I feel this pain, like the fear every time I go to meet this person. I'm afraid that something will happen and I'll get hurt. And I know I'm preserving something which is not there, and I've experienced the spaciousness within myself. But sometimes the identity is so strong that I really get carried away. I'm trying my best to um, just see the situation as it is from the observer's point of view. But there are parts when I get very personal with the story.
Mm.
So yeah.
Fear, is it only with this person that his fear is triggered?
Currently, it's with this person because I used to meet this friend quite often last year,
Mm-hmm.
and I was more like a support to this friend. And I was also feeling comforted in my friend's presence. There was a part of me which was incomplete, and I was feeling that completeness in that space. But as as the months and days passed, I realized that it's an illusion. No matter what I do, it's the outside, I mean the situation externally will never complete me fully, and it was shown very clearly from this person to me.
Mm-hmm. When you feel fear in this way coming from so-called outside, then when meeting a person like this, it's actually an opportunity to look, and this is actually what you're saying also. An opportunity. Why is this fear arising in the first place? Why what I am afraid of? And then we can look more closely what it is that you are afraid of. So what is it that you're afraid of in this situation?
I'm afraid of
What can
uh,
happen, so to speak? What is the danger?
mm,
Is it something that the person can say to you that you don't want to hear? Or what is it you're afraid of?
I feel the love which I have in my heart for this person. I feel there is no respect for it. So I feel that that person should respect my space and
Mm,
should respect me. So I know that there is a very strong ego identity. There's something which is like I'm just protecting something,
yeah.
you know.
And Of course, in this is quite logical. No? If we meet a person who doesn't respect us, of course we feel fearful to meet that person again. This is quite natural. At the same time, in this context we are talking here, it's actually very good to see, okay, so is disrespectful behavior towards me, towards you then? So why is this coming up? The respect in itself, can you see that respect is connected to a personal me? So without the personal me, there will be no issue about respect. This is, of course, a very deep issue, and we usually look at it in individual sessions more easily because it has a lot of story around it, and it also need more detail. It has more time to do it also. And of course, we should do that when we meet each other. I know we meet each other tomorrow already, yeah? So we can look at it more in detail then. But just in general to see that when people are behaving in some way towards us and we feel not respected, it's actually not, instead of blaming the other one for being disrespectful, huh? We cannot, instead, in the context we are working here, to see that I am reacting is, of course, what you're saying, Krishna, also, that we are reacting here, and we can see it as an opportunity to see, why am I reacting? Why am I reacting in the first place? Why not be respected? It sounds strange because everyone should respect each other. That is what we have been learned to have as a behavior towards each other, to respect each other. But in this context here about freedom, we have to look at everything which makes us not feel good, which makes us feel quite uncomfortable, because then it is some kind of signal from the truth, you could say. Life is showing us something is misunderstood here. So when we don't feel good, whatever there is in situation, whenever we don't feel good, there is some kind of misunderstanding. Because the truth is that we are always peace, love, and bliss. That is the natural state. It's a true state we are in actually already now. So every time we don't feel good, every time we have tension in the body, every time we have destructive beliefs about ourselves or others, there's some kind of misunderstanding behind it. And this is what we want to see. Not to go through all of it, but to see the general pattern of this. And in this case about respectfulness, it's of course based on the me, which maybe were not respected in other situations in your life or in our lives. And that is what brings us to more sensitive. We are becoming more sensitive maybe. Or it is just that we meet person who is not very respectful at all towards anybody maybe. But doesn't matter so much. The most important is the reaction we have inside ourselves, and to say, why is it this actually arising? And then to start to look, is this a belief in a person here who should be respected? And then we go to the non-dual. Now we go into to see, what is this me really? I will look on it further. I think it's too much to do it now, actually. Yeah, we're just a little bit scratching on the surface here, just to understand the principles that the respectfulness or disrespectfulness is connected to a person. And what we are doing here, we are questioning the person, actually. We are questioning the existence, the very existence of a person. Of course we exist, but not as an ego. As you say yourself, Krishna, it's the ego. It's you see it yourself, that there is an ego here who is not respected, and maybe there's some history around it. We just have to go deeper and see, is this ego really here, or is it a thought construction? And by doing this, we will see, by going in detailed analysis, by observation, not thinking about it, but investigating, we will see that the ego in itself is just a thought construction. There is no ego. There is no person. But just now is more of a theory. Just now is more like a speculation for some of you who don't see this. But in individual sessions, we can see it more clearly. Do you have anything to add to this, Krishna?
Uh, Thank you, Christopher, for that sharing. Um, I think I can feel what was triggering me in that situation.
Okay.
It's and I think it's the same thing what we also discussed during the meeting, that the feeling of I'm not good enough, and when somebody points out something to you, you want the validation, to be like I'm right, or I'm good enough. So when you don't get it, it's like uh, it's a struggle. So I think maybe it was that for me yesterday, where I felt no matter what I do, I'll never be good enough.
Mhm. Of course, not being respected is also a version, an aspect of this. I'm not good enough, of course. So what we do then is to work with that belief and to see it is actually not true at all. And we have, as you know, we have tools for working with it also in daily activity, not only in individual sessions, but we have to have practical tools to be used in our daily life as well. It's a little bit of a process. It's not that we do something, we see something in a session, individual session, then it's gone forever. It has happened, but to be honest, it's a little bit of a process for most people. The old program has a tendency to come back, and that's why we use these tools to cope with it when it comes back again. And of course, the idea that you just said, I'm not good enough, it has thousands and thousands of aspects around it, connected to all kinds of situations, all kinds of people, and all kinds of memories. It's very, very big in that sense. So not being respected in a situation by some person, maybe all the time by the same person, it can trigger that feeling, okay, I knew it, I'm not good enough. So we continue to work with it, of course. And
Yes.
okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Krista.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Okay, something else? Someone wants to say something else? On whatever subject? I can just say that what we just said about the person having, we have an idea, I'm not good enough. If we look at the meditation that we just did, of course I cannot say for you, but did you really, any one of you had a negative idea about yourself in it? Was it really an idea, I'm not good enough, coming and grabbing attention during the meditation? No, it didn't. There wasn't an idea that, oh, this moment is not complete. Usually not coming in your meditation. And the future is not good. For me, of course, it means. Is that idea coming in meditation? No. And the idea about not being good enough, not coming. And the idea, I have to fix my life. I need, I must. Does this idea come in the meditation? I'm talking about the non-dual meditation, of course. No. What does it mean? It means that when these negative beliefs about ourself, about the future, about the moment, about fixing me and the not being good enough me, they are not active during meditation. And what happens then? What happens when these ideas are not active? Oh, suddenly something else is coming here. I feel good. I feel in harmony. There's some kind of joy here without any specific cause. And maybe you even see some kind of love here and compassion, beauty, freedom, whatever. Everyone is, of course, different, and it shows itself in different aspects in different meditation. But the point, the bottom line is that when we are not believing the negative beliefs about ourselves, we see how it is. We see how it is when we don't believe these negative thoughts about ourselves. Yes, that's why we are focusing on question these negative beliefs about ourselves when we are in activity. Because the same state you see in meditation, this harmonious, what should we call it, true state or something, it's actually there also during a daily activity, of course. But it's totally overshadowed by all the beliefs we have about ourselves that we believe to be true, all the negative beliefs we have about ourselves. That's why we don't see it. And that's why we are working with it, most in individual sessions, as a start, and then give tools to work with it in daily activity. To realize when we see it is not true, because none of them are true. None of them are true. But then we see what is already here, be shining behind it all, this beautiful oneness awakened state. Of course, the moment is complete. Because the idea are not good enough is not true. Because the ideas about the awful future is nonsense because we don't know anything about it. And that I have to fix my life is simply not true. Life is fixing it for you. When you let the longing be your guide instead of the thinking mind. So this is the way we proceed here. It seems to work very good. So we continue in this way. And on Saturday, we have another meeting for you who wants to come the same time. Is there anyone who wants to say something or have another final question or something? Okay. Maybe we can just finish by having 2 minutes together in silence and okay, thank you very much for today. See you later. See you on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.